All right, here we go. Welcome into the show. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr., and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, plenty to get to. Philadelphia Eagles getting more good news in the lead up to this Rams game in the divisional round. The Dallas Cowboys requesting to interview Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Is Dallas sneakily trying to screw over the Eagles, knowing that they're in the NFL playoffs, trying to make a Super Bowl run? We're going to go through some Matthew Stafford stats in the cold because snow is in the forecast for Sunday, and what Jalen Hurts said about his role as a quarterback for this football team. Before we do all of that, be sure to subscribe and join us for our Eagles-Rams watch party. We're going to go live for a 90-minute pregame show on Sunday, and the official show gets started with our pregame show at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So hit that sub button, and here's an updated look at our road toward 100,000 subscribers. We are officially 300 people away from getting that silver plaque from YouTube. Let's get to 100K this weekend. Lock us in. Subscribe right now. As for some of that good news for Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts no longer on the injury report. He had been listed on that injury report with a broken finger on his non-throwing hand for weeks. And so he's not included on the injury list for the first time since leading up to Week 15. As we know, last week, we were talking about his injury status a lot. He had suffered that concussion against the Washington Commanders, missed a month, Week 17, Week 18, and he cleared concussion protocol in the lead up to that game against the Green Bay Packers. And it's no secret with Hurts and with this entire Eagles offense, the passing attack is going to need to improve. Hurts had said in dealing with that broken finger, it was impacting his game. And then we saw him ball out against Pittsburgh. He was cooking against Washington, suffered that concussion. Then he couldn't play for a month. And last week, the byproduct of all of that, him being a little bit rusty and the passing game being off. Could have been better, could have been worse. His tallies against Green Bay, he got the dub. He was 13 of 21, 131 yards, 6.2 yards per completion, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He found Jahan Dotson, and Dallas Goedert 4-7. And had a passer rating of 111.4. He also outplayed Jordan Love. And look, there were plays to be made. I thought that the passing concepts for Philadelphia were very simple, vanilla. Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore had a very conservative approach, but I expect them to take the training wheels off of Hurts in this game against Los Angeles because you're going to have to, number one, and number two, he was able to shake off the cobwebs after having not played for a while. Now, he did fare well in a couple of key areas. Hurts against the blitz, 3 of 5, 62 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, and a passer rating of 143.3. I also loved the touchdown throw to Jahan Dotson. Yes, he had good protection in front of him, but he was patient. He didn't bail out of the pocket. He stood tall within the pocket, had good pocket feel and mobility, and he bought time in order for Dotson to get open, and he threw a strike to cap off an opening drive touchdown after Oren Burks started the game with a momentum-changing play in dislodging that football, forcing the fumble on the opening kickoff. And then on the Dallas Goedert touchdown, there were 7 guys around the line of scrimmage. Hurts audibled, knew that he had to get rid of the ball quickly, did that to Goedert, and Dallas Goedert had that legendary angry run. And so Hurts fared well against the blitz, and then he fared well in the second half as well. He was nearly perfect. Of course, Philadelphia relied on their run game. How could you not with this offensive line that wears teams down, plays bully ball with Saquon Barkley, who had more than 2,000 yards? But through the air, Hurts was 7 of 8, 92 yards, a touchdown, and a passer rating of 154.2. And when your defense is forcing 3 turnovers, and your special teams added another turnover, and you're up in the turnover battle 4-0, and the game is close, sometimes naturally, you're going to be conservative with the game plan. Now, this is how I think the Eagles have to fix the pass game. I want to see advanced, less predictable, less vanilla routes. Jalen Hurts only threw 1 ball of 20-plus yards against Green Bay. Take some deep shots. He's one of the top deep ball throwers in the NFL. No way, no how should a wide receiver the caliber of A.J. Brown have 1 catch for 10 yards, but Hurts was coming off that concussion, and he didn't practice with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The positive is that Hurts, since starting the season rocky, when he was turning the ball over, is playing clean since then. That has resulted in him and this offense being less aggressive through the past game. Maybe they dial up some more shots against an up-and-down Rams secondary. Also, isolate A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Get Dallas Goedert the football with some room to roam and run to pick up yards after the catch, because the Rams have the 7th most missed tackles in the NFL this year. And going back to A.J. Brown, target him. He's 28th in targets per game, yet he's number 1 in yards per target. And when you target A.J. Brown, route running, yak, making people miss, physicality, coming down with 50-50 balls, he wins his matchups. This Rams defense, it is a good defense. And so Philadelphia does have to play smart, and they have to, what I would call, be calculated aggressive. Since giving up 42 points to the Bills, the Rams have given up 6 points in a 12-6 win to the Niners, 9 points in a 19-9 win over the New York Jets. They beat the Cardinals 13-9, beat the Vikings in the playoffs 27-9. But what's the thing about these teams right here? The Eagles are far superior, and those teams don't have the offensive firepower that Philadelphia has. And we saw what happened back in Week 12 when the Eagles played this Rams defense, when they were playing well at the time. 37-20 victory, more than 300 rushing yards, and Saquon Barkley popped off for 255. Elsewhere on the Eagles injury report, the strategy for Philadelphia this week has been resting their veterans at this point in the year. And I think that is smart and calculated as well. So on Wednesday and throughout the week, these players have been getting rest, and they've been getting some limited practice sessions underneath them. At this point in the year, of course, practicing is important, but you have bigger goals, and that's game day. And so the Eagles have rested these key veterans this week: Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata, and Josh Sweat. And for A.J. Brown, he's been dealing with that knee injury for a bit. He said he felt good after that Packers game. He felt like himself. And I think A.J. Brown could have a big one in this game against Los Angeles. He went off for more than 100 yards and a touchdown against the Rams back in Week 12, too. The weather in Philadelphia, let's segue to that, going to be a factor in this game. And in my previous job, I was a news reporter, a sports reporter, and I covered weather from time to time. So I kind of feel like I'm back on local television at WNEP in Scranton. Shout out to everybody up there in NEPA. The weather in Philly on Sunday, during the day, going to be cloudy. Some snow showers early. A steady snow likely later in the day. High of 36 degrees. Winds north-northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, and a chance of snow at 70%. About 1 inch of snow is expected. That's during the day. This game starts at 3. So in the evening time, snow showers early, clear skies later, a low of 18 degrees, winds northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour, chance of snow 50%. Snow accumulations less than 1 inch. So we're probably going to see some snow, and the weather can change by the minute, by the hour, but we could see some snow in this game, and I think that favors Philadelphia. Great offensive line, great defensive line, better run game, more explosive run game. They're at home. They're an outdoor team. They're a Northeast team, and they're playing the Rams, who play indoors on the West Coast, who don't have the rest advantage because they played on Monday night. They traveled all the way across the country, and they don't have a lot of experience playing in a cold climate like this or a raucous environment like this. And this is why I think the Eagles, by the way, should never build a dome. Cold weather makes you tougher as a football team, makes it more difficult to play for the visiting team, and dome teams are soft. And Matthew Stafford has struggled in his career in the rain and snow. He is 1-8. He has completed 54.6% of his passes, 14 touchdowns, 11 picks, and a passer rating of 76. That lone win coming against the San Francisco 49ers a few weeks ago when they beat the Niners 12-6, and that Niners team is nothing close to what they've been in years prior. So what say you? Do you want to see a snow playoff game? S for snow, D for dry. I'd like to see some snow, Not to the point where it accumulates, because I do want to see these two teams on the field battling it out. I know it favors Philadelphia, but I don't want to see it impact the game all that much. But seeing some snow, what if you're there or if you're watching on TV, obviously that could be pretty cool. All right, coming up next, Kellen Moore interviewing with the Dallas Cowboys. Are the Cowboys trying to screw their division rival with when they've set up this interview? We'll talk about that coming up just around the corner. But first, let's get to our sponsor, our friends at Game Time, the only app that you should be using in the ticketing marketplace. They specialize in last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the event gets closer. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. They have flash deals and zone deals so that you can get the best seats while saving some cash. And I love how you can see the vantage point and the price point before you even arrive to the stadium, arena, or venue. It's also not just an app for sporting events. You can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. Plenty of tickets available for Eagles, Rams in this divisional round. And prices do vary on those tickets, of course, but it's a hot ticket right now. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. What time is it? Game time. We'll put that link down below in the comments section and in the description of today's Thursday Philadelphia Eagles Now. All right, let's talk Kellen Moore here. Adam Schefter reporting this morning on this January 16th that the Cowboys now have requested permission to interview Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore for their head coaching job, per source. Albert Breer with more specifics here. Kellen Moore has been requested by the Cowboys. He's slated to interview for the Jags job tomorrow, the Saints job on Saturday, and if Dallas doesn't get him during this window, they'd have to wait until after Philadelphia is eliminated. So what the Cowboys are doing, interviewing Kellen Moore on Friday. So Kellen Moore now has an interview with the Jags and the Cowboys on Friday, the Saints on Saturday, and this is all coming before the Philadelphia Eagles playing a divisional round game on Sunday. Moore has familiarity with that Cowboys organization, played there 3 years, 2015 to 2017, coached there for 5, 2018 to 2022, quarterbacks coach, and then an OC. I hate how the NFL does this. Let these playoff teams cook. Let these coaches game plan. Let their full focus be toward trying to win a Super Bowl, not preparing for these interviews. And Kellen Moore's trying to get this pass game right and get Jalen Hurts back on track. I hate it, but the Cowboys would like nothing more than to see the Eagles season spoiled with this offense sputtering on Sunday because Kellen Moore is thinking about other things other than this game. Have him wait until after the year. Kellen Moore in Dallas, very accomplished OC and play caller, by the way, during his 4-year stint as the offensive coordinator, orchestrated a unit that ranked second in the NFL in total offense, scoring offense, and touchdowns, third in first downs per game, fourth in passing offense, third in third down conversion rate, seventh in rushing offense. He helped Dallas to 3 playoff appearances, 2 NFC East titles, while mentoring 9 players to a combined 13 Pro Bowl appearances. This year, I think he's done a really good job with this Eagles offense, and this is why he's getting some head coaching buzz. The Eagles were 7th in points per game, 6th in yards per game, 12th in yards per play, 9th on third downs, 14th in the red zone. This Eagles pass game, it wasn't great. Their run game was number 2 behind the Baltimore Ravens. Saquon Barkley ran for more than 2,000 yards. He's going to be the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. A.J. Brown had more than 1,000 yards receiving. Devontae Smith was once again very good. The Eagles pass game, a little bit lackluster, 14th in EPA. But that also happens when you're running it so much. And I actually give more credit for that. He found success running it when he was known to be pass happy. And what do good coaches do? Good coaches cater to their team's personnel. And that's what Kellen Moore did this year, and hopefully he leads the Eagles all the way to a Super Bowl victory in New Orleans. As for Jalen Hurts and that pass game, here's what Hurts had to say about it. A pretty honest take about where him and the Eagles are. He said every game is different. I think you guys need to understand that I don't play the game for anything other than to win, and my role in each game will be different, and the approach in each game is different. You just want to go out there and do your job, take advantage of opportunities, obviously. And I think things are magnified a little bit more because there's less opportunity in certain areas. But ultimately, it's about winning the game. We're talking about playoff football. Hurts has a point. And this Eagles team has run it a lot this year. And so that's impacted his throwing numbers. But what did he mention? Wins. Jalen Hurts is 46-20 as a starter. He's won 14 games 2 of the last 3 years. He's a big reason why the Eagles are having success. Was the Eagles' pass game deserving of an A grade against the Packers? No. But here's what Hurts had to say about it. I think there were some opportunities. There's always going to be something that you want back or wish you could have done or taken advantage of. But ultimately, I think we all make plays when we needed to the most, and I think that's what matters. And hopefully Hurts in this pass game, they bounce back against the Rams. So that's the question that we round out with. Will Hurts bounce back against LA? Why for yes and for no? Let me know down in the chat right now.